Welcome. Today's episode is on money, manhood, and the 21st century. Why financial literacy isn't optional. Men, let me ask you this. Would you rather look rich or would you rather be free? Too many guys are chained to jobs, loans, and debt, not because they have to be, but because they fell for the trap. I'm talking about the guy fresh out of school with a $40,000 in student loans and $800 a month car payment that doesn't even include insurance, gas, or repairs. He bought it because he thought it would turn heads and maybe turn her head. Meanwhile, he's working extra hours just to afford a ride that's driving straight into financial stress. On the flip side, there's the tradesman who skips college, earns $29 an hour, lives debt-free, but feels judged because he doesn't have the white-collar title. Either way, if you don't master money, you end up trapped by debt, by pressure, by expectations. Now let's get into it. Why money and masculinity, why men feel judged by their wallet. Here's a pressure game. Men are judged by how much they make, what car they drive, where they live. Women look for signals of stability. Other men measure themselves by competition. It's a constant status Olympics. Here's a story layer. College grad with a good job but drawing in loans. He wears a suit, but the credit card debt is eating him alive. On the flip side, the tradesman, plenty of cash flow, no debt, but feels insecure because society tells him he is not as successful as that white-collar guy. The young man financing $50,000 Dodge Charge, for example, with a monthly payment bigger than his rent, just to flex on Instagram and pick up women. But he's not free. He's a prisoner to payments. Time for reflection. It's not about the car, the suit, or the title. It's about freedom. But when men have been conditioned to equate masculinity with financial signals instead of financial strength, here's a problem. Really getting into it. The financial trapped, debt, consumerism, and control. Debt is a modern day slave master. Student loans, 10K credit card balances, finance toys. These keep men locked into jobs they hate. What about divorce, huh? It hits men even harder. On average, men lose 17% of their income post-divorce, compared to 9% for women, plus after assets in many cases. Let's get into the story there. The guy who buys the $800 a month car to look attractive, but now he's working double shifts, exhausted, no time for himself. He didn't buy freedom, he bought shackles. Or the dad paying $1,200 a month in child support while also losing his house in the settlement. He earns well, but has no control over his own money. Now here's a consumer trap. Advertising sells men on dreams. Buy this and you'll get women, respect, freedom. But in reality, you buy the product, not the result. The car doesn't guarantee attraction. The watch doesn't guarantee status. Okay, redefining wealth, freedom over flex. Knowledge is power. Financial literacy is about knowing how money works. Budgeting, investing, avoiding debt traps. It's not sexy, but it's the foundation. Try the story layer. Here's a man who bought a modest car wash, invested the rest, and now has enough passive income. Or the guy who skipped flexing in his 20s and built a portfolio. By 35, he has options that flashy spenders don't. Come on, man, freedom is the real flex. It's not about showing off your wealth. It's about choosing your life. Saying no to toxic jobs, walking away from toxic relationships, protecting yourself legally so you don't lose everything in a divorce. Reframe masculinity. Real status isn't how loud you flex, it's how quietly you control your own life. Okay, let's bring this home. Fellas, here's the bottom line. Money doesn't define your worth, but it does define your options. Too many men are buying cars or homes or things to impress people who just don't care, or they're in jobs for the titles that don't matter. Start thinking, am I building freedom or building debt? Because in this 21st century, leadership isn't optional, it's survival. This is an outlet for men, real talk for real men. See you next time.